How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another GG Sports Podcast live stream here on a beautiful Thursday where your Minnesota Vikings are 2-0 so far on this three-game road trip. And game 3 is a big one. Back in the division against I'm going to say sneaky, tough Chicago Bears team. This is a big one. I mean, look, you're 1-1 in the division so far. You're 8-2. You have 7 games left. And a big chunk of those are divisional games. So this is the big one. If you can beat this Bears team in Soldier Field, the place we historically have not played well, it's gonna do great things for the rest of the season. So I'm excited. I think the Vikings are in for a good game here. What are your thoughts on it? How are you doing tonight, Jamie? Let's start there. We'll get down to business eventually, but let's start with more personal level. How are you doing this evening?
How are you doing? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just keeping an eye on the NFL. We got the game tonight, all those good things. Excited for this game. It is going to be a big one. I'll get into that a little bit more in a second here, but I want to do some shout outs because I'm not the only one that we have to figure out how I am doing, but how's everybody in the chat doing? Because we got Bob Sweet in here right away. We saw some comments rolling in pretty early today, which we appreciate. Big time, actually. Bob Sweet with the 15-2. Let's fucking go. Skol, baby. Let's go. Roger in the building with the hi, Bob. Hey, Roger. Sounds great, boss. I did see. I know you were saying a beautiful Thursday. I don't think it's super beautiful for a lot of people here. It looks like it's getting cold out here.
It's not really beautiful here either. It's kind of cold. It's
like I lied. It's not actually beautiful.
It's not that great. But hey, every day is a beautiful day when the Vikings are 8-2.
My cousin Garrett here, who is a Packer fan. If the Packers can beat the Bears, well, I hope the Vikes can do too. Fuck the Bears. It's hunting season. Yeah, I mean, at least we can agree with Packer fans that like fuck the Bears, but of course even more fuck the Packers. Sorry, Garrett. And Steve, if you're in here. Keeping on going here. We got Dan in the building. Skol, everyone. Far Hill's cold and windy. Bleeding Purple, let's go. Welcome back. Who am I missing here? Skol Mafia in the building. Purple Gang, let's get it. With the hashtag Skol, of course, another show, another JJ McCarthy rookie card giveaway. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you have not already. Keep it on this list, though. Salute the Viking. My guy's back. Let's go. Big Raylan is in the building like he always is, and we always appreciate it. Darren as well. What's up, GG? Darren in the house. Getting on.
Famous. Getting on the Vikings 6-6 on YouTube with this question about Andrew Van Ginkel. So we got a celebrity in our chat here. So everybody, check that video out if you haven't already.
Let's go. Yeah, definitely. Shorts out about our thoughts on the whole Andrew Van Ginkel defensive rookie of the year thing. Spoiler alert: you could argue he should win it. He should be winning right now, but he's not even being considered, and he should easily be considered. And hopefully, he shuts everybody up and he proves he makes it. He forces the hand where people are going to have no choice but to consider him, at least put him at that top. If he keeps doing what he's doing, once he breaks 10 sacks, I don't know. You're going to have to make some decisions. Vikings fan, 28, 84, 97. My dude, welcome back. JJ Vikings, nephew in the building. Uncle Casey, Uncle Jamie. My dude, yep, get the hashtag Skols. Hey, JJ, you can't leave, brother. You can't leave. Let's go. What's up? Hey, FT Maddie in the building. Nor's in the building. Let's go. Get those hashtag Skol. Sarah, hashtag Skol. Let's go. Sarah, by the way, I do have a card on the way for you as well. The one that I owed you. What else we got here? I think we are pretty much caught up. Just coming back to some initial thoughts. Oh, wait, actually, gotta put this bad boy up here. Just coming into someone's got to eat, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Skull Shred in the building. Let's go, my guy Joey. But coming back just to this game in general, it is really important. One, obviously, in division game against a Bears squad that hasn't been playing super well overall. The offense has not been clicking as nearly as much as people were expecting before the season was going. But On top of that, we finished the easiest stretch of the season, right? Like the 3-game stretch. We did not finish it in flying colors. You could argue that all of those none of those games, the Titans game was the best we had, I think, out of the 3. But we should have demolished all 3 of those teams. So after finishing that, like, you do want to go to a Bears team that out of those teams, like, I'm more worried about the Bears and divisional game in Soldier Field. And it's a game that you just feel like you can't sleep on this Bear squad. You got to come in swinging. And, we say it every single week. Like, we hope to get back to a game where we just completely dominate. But it is hard to believe that after the stretch we just had, and things aren't going to get any easier. So I do think this is one of those games where, you need to come in here and win this. It feels pretty bad. If you come in here and lose this, then we're all feeling down, because all it is we ugly beat a bunch of shitty teams, and now we just lost against a Bears team that's kind of mediocre too. So big wins need to come here, I think. Obviously, I definitely think we could do it. I feel bad for Caleb. He's about to have Welcome North. Hey, Young Smokey in the building. My guy with the 20. Caleb's going to regret acting like the NFL is easy after the Vikings give him a concussion. It's going to be, and we're going to dive into it specifically. Hey, JD in the building too. My dude, welcome back. Welcome back. We're going to go into it specifically, but I honestly think Brian Flores is literally like the worst case scenario for a Caleb Williams, especially with this year's personnel and us being able to handle the edges and everything really well, and bring in the pressure from that side, and not really letting quarterbacks extend plays with their arms outside of the pocket. And Brian Flores has been, our personnel mixed with Brian Flores this year, and all the talents, including should be defensive player of the year, Andrew Van Ginkel, running the edge there too. He's been a monster. He leads the league with 13 in tackles for the loss, and he's tied for like 6th with 8 sacks or whatever. So yeah, he's gonna
and 2 touchdowns. Nobody else
and 2 touchdowns and 2 touchdowns. No one else is doing that. No one else is doing that. And we talked about it before. Only 3 players in NFL history, and that's in our short, but 3 players in NFL history has had 8 sacks and 2 defensive touchdowns in a season. And we still have 7 weeks left. Dang, Young Smokey coming in hot tonight. Might sound crazy, but I don't respect the Bears despite our recent play in Soldier Field. Brian Flores is like Bill Belichick humbling young quarterbacks. Yeah. And honestly, as far as like the young quarterback thing and the veteran quarterback thing, if there's one thing we've done well, it's handling them. Things that in the past, like we might let a young quarterback come in and have his best game, or we might let some old veteran come in and make him look like he's 10 years younger or whatever. And we have not been doing that this year. That's one thing for sure. And I'd be surprised if Caleb Williams comes in here and balls against us. Appreciate.
And people need to remember, like this offensive line is absolute garbage. Like it is a dumpster fire of an offensive line. So and again, we'll get into it like you said later, more in depth. But the stars are absolutely aligning for Caleb Williams to come out of this game and see what a real head coach or a real coach NFL defense is like, and a defense that is playing
what up to even
over expectations, at least expectations from outside of the Vikings organization. So yeah, everything's setting up for this defense to have one of its best games of the season.
Yeah. And that's hopefully what we see here. Gink is on a 2. Yeah, Gink has 1 year left after this one. Though you extend him if you can right away. Like I want him to be here till he's 34
he's not gonna get any cheaper.
Or whatever.
He's not going to get cheaper. So, you might as well just do it.
Honestly,
now.
we're definitely going to be paying more to keep him around. Hopefully, especially if maybe it's good that he's getting slept on super hard and he's being disrespected from the defensive player of the year thing. Because it probably will keep him a little bit cheaper than if he won defensive player of the year. But still, I still hope I hope he forces the hand, like I said. And I hope he does. I hope it's like a non-mistakenly wins defensive player of the year. But that you do feel like your defense has to continue to play like they did last week in order for that to happen.
Yeah. The only thing, it still sticks in my head. He's a stupid Badger. That's the only thing that I'm just like, I just can't.
Yeah, I don't hate the Badgers as
but
much.
It doesn't matter because he's playing well for Minnesota. He's not and that's all he can. That's all you can.
Mafia knows that hat is absolute fire. Speaking of my guy, Young Smokey, again, he just got his hat. He's almost deserving a second one. But Van Ginkel is going to take a big tinkle all over the Bears offense. Dude, I'm excited for Van
Right.
Ginkel, man. I'm so
Right.
excited for Van Ginkel in this game. Coming in hot. If Flores leaves, do you think Gink will follow Flores? We're
I mean,
good.
it's
We actually have
possible,
Flores up
but
there. So one thing I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if we give him the money. Plus, there's one thing last offseason, there was like a report last week that said the Eagles that he almost signed with the Eagles, but the Eagles thought he was a little bit too expensive, which is crazy because 10 million for him is absolutely insane. At this point, he's worth at least 20 million, it feels like.
well, I guess what you have to hope is that he just buys into, like, he ends up loving it here. You know, Midwestern guy,
Right.
ends up just loving it here, falls in love with the culture that O'Connell's built. And honestly, I do think that there is a chance that if Flores does leave, the next guy ends up being hired internally, and it could be, you know, the outside linebackers coach. So there's,
Right.
you know, there's going to be some connections there. So again, and that is a big thing. Like, if he likes it here and you're willing to give him the money, I don't see a reason why he would leave. Smokey coming in with another
Smokey, you're
1999.
going
I think
crazy,
Cashman
my
would follow
dude.
Flores. That's a big reason why
Of
Cashman
course.
came to the
We
Vikings.
appreciate you for real, Smokey.
But also
Crazy.
you do got to remember the Minnesota connection. I mean, Minnesota kid went to the main U, was a Gopher. So I
What up,
personally
GMNFL in the
think there's going
building?
to be a little bit more hometown pride for Cashman to want to stay here. Like, yes, I mean,
Yeah.
Flores was a part of it, but I do think the bigger part of it is he's home, where he grew up, played college. So I think that's got to be remembered as well when we talk about Cashman and being a Viking for, honestly, hopefully the rest of his career, because when the dude's healthy, phenomenal, and we've seen what he does with his defense.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned it. I don't know where I mentioned it. If it's here on Bleacher Report, I don't remember. But I mean, Quasi's. I mean, those, as far as like value free agents, I think you got all three of, like, the three top value free agents last offseason in those three. Like, how do you go and get those three guys and they've made this much of an impact, each one of them? And then with Cashman back, man, hopefully our defense keeps going. But let's keep on moving here in this show. Again, everybody, giving away the JJ McCarthy rookie card. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you have not already. Appreciate it big time. But get those hashtag Skols in the comments. Got to be here to win. All that good stuff. But let's dive into some injuries real quick. Kind of take a peek at that, which I know look pretty good for us. Josh Oliver more than likely going to be out. I think most of us knew that. But Jonathan Bullard, Sam Darnold, and Aaron Jones were limited yesterday. Back in full today. Gabriel Murphy, Nick Muse. I don't know if we'll see either of them. I really highly doubt we'll see Murphy this week. But full participant. So injury-wise, we're feeling good. We're looking good there.
I mean, the Josh Oliver one's pretty big, though. I mean, from a blocking perspective and kind of how he's grown as a pass catcher, it'll be interesting to see kind of how things go with Hawk and kind of what his snap count looks like, which, again, we'll talk about him a little bit later on, but that'll be interesting to see how they handle the tight ends with Oliver. At this point, most likely not going to be available for Sunday.
Facts, Dan. Get them likes in here. Get them likes. You don't got to win the card, but get them likes in here. We'll appreciate it. Big time. Big time, big time, big time. But keeping on rolling here, because there is some injuries on the other side. One I see right away is Elijah Hicks. He's one of the starting safeties, and the Bears arguably have the best safety tandem in the league this year, and especially in coverage. So if they end up missing him, that would be pretty significant for us, I think. And then you got a lot of offensive tackle injuries, and for a team that really can't afford them. So if they're losing some of their offensive tackles and some offensive linemen in general, yeah, that's going to be tough for them. So, I mean, we'll kind of see. I never really looked to see how bad everything was on their side of the bar. Oh, hey, too evil. Let's go, my guy. I'm really excited for the prophecy to be fulfilled. Aaron Rodgers will be a Vikings quarterback next season, shoot Bradbury into the sun. I don't know about that. JJ McCarthy's him. He's going to be him. Or at least we're going to find out if he is.
I just don't want Aaron Rodgers. I really don't. Like, it doesn't feel the same as if you were getting a Brett Favre, right? It feels like Rodgers.
It would have been prior to it, like if he would have left the Packers and came here right away.
But like with Favre, when we got Favre from the Jets, it felt different. If getting Rodgers, I would just be like, why? Like, what are we doing? Like,
Rodgers, he's not doing good.
He hasn't shown me he still has anything. Good. It's just It's just, I don't know. His attitude, just the way that he acts. I don't know. It's just not. It wouldn't be the same vibe as when when Favre came here. It just wouldn't.
Any thoughts on the injuries?
I mean, I think missing Oliver is going to suck, but at the end of the day, kind of is what it is. So, yeah, nothing. Yeah, but nothing major. I mean, Darnold back to being full participant, all that type of stuff. We're going to be relatively healthy for this game, which is going to be big.
And we'll take
especially
that
on the offensive side of the ball. So.
All right, let's jump into some keys to victory here, and that starts with. Oops, wrong one. Keys of victory, number 5, the guy who's the same one that we've had on number 1 to back-to-back weeks. We get to come down a little bit. At number 5, you got Sam Darnold with the turnovers, and just turnovers in general, I guess. Last week it wasn't really on him, but we still had 1 turnover. It wasn't as bad as the 3 the week before and the 2 the week before that. But we do want to, just because we saw him come in and take care of the ball this last game doesn't mean he's going to do it again. I want to see him do it in consecutive weeks. Just as I was saying, I thought he deserved a bounce back game, which I thought he did, and he did bounce back. It also wouldn't be fair for him just to be right back on board. Like, he can't make the same mistakes again. So we want to see consecutive weeks from him. And then on top of that, we've had the 5th most turnovers in the NFL this year with 17. Sam Darnold leads the NFL with 14 this year. And then the Bears are tied for 7th in takeaways this year. So obviously, as far as those stats go specifically, things aren't really matching up great for us in this game. But as long as Sam Darnold just plays smart football, I think we're going to be all right there.
Absolutely. And by the way, Rap, thank you so much for hopping in. Nice to see you.
Hey, speaking about Vocal Viking, everybody, I'm going to be on his show tomorrow, so everybody should definitely tap in there. Go subscribe. If anybody in here is not subscribed to Vocal Viking, you guys definitely should go do that right now. And you'll see me there tomorrow. So,
but when it comes to turnovers, I would like to say that Darnold has 13. I understand you put the fumble from last week on the quarterback. It still hit Aaron Jones in the hands. You got to catch that ball. I don't really want to count that one on Sam Darnold. But going up against one of the better passing, I mean, statistically, the Titans were the best defense in the league against the pass. And they were near the top in a lot of other statistical categories on that defense. Plus, their strength along the defensive line was our weakness along the offensive line. There's their interior guys, Tavondre Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons against our interior, which, I mean, you're getting Bradbury, who's had his ups and downs this year, as well as Reisner starting his first game. So even with all of that going up against the defense that this was, Darnold was efficient with the ball. He got the ball out quickly. He made moves with his legs. He did everything that honestly we had wanted him to do and seen him do earlier and just wanted him to get back to. So really great for Sam Darnold to move from number 1 priority on this list down to number 5 for the keys to victory. There's no reason to believe that he can't repeat last week against this defense where, yes, they're good against the pass. They have their strengths. Obviously, Matt Eberflus being their head coach / defensive coordinator. So they're going to come up with a solid plan to try to stop Sam Darnold. But I saw everything I needed to see from him last week to know that he can play good ball even against the better defenses in the league. And I think we're going to see it again. I think Darnold is going to have he's going to have a pretty clean game. Yeah,
and obviously you're hoping so. And again, it's just being consecutive with that. We don't want to see this roller coaster thing. He had kind of his little down stretch, and hopefully we just seen him bounce back from that. And I've said this a million times. I think with Sam Darnold, he's 26 years old. Yes, I know he's considered a bust up until this year, but he's young enough where it's fair to say he has room to grow, and it's okay to give him time to grow because he's only 26 years old. I mean, there's quarterbacks that don't really hit their stride until they're 28 or something. Yes. I do think that is
stats wise, yes. Yardage allowed, they were
yardage allowed specifically, yeah. Though I would say
they were near the top in a lot of other statistical categories as well.
Yep, and I'm gonna get into it in a little bit here, actually. Spoiler alert, but their secondary, the Bears' secondary is up there though, as far as coverage and keeping teams in line. And I got some stats there. We'll get in there in a second, but first we got to talk about.
But actually, though, one other thing is I don't care because that's the thing. You're going up against the Bears offense where they have so many weapons, but they've underproduced to this point. It doesn't matter how how bad an offense is playing, you can't give them extra opportunities. So especially against a quarterback like Caleb Williams, who we've seen him have his stretches when he's able to when he's able to play the game the way he wants to play it, he can be explosive. So you don't want to give an offense with that many weapons extra opportunities. So in this type of game, where last game is Tennessee, you knew they weren't going to hurt you too much. In this game,
Right.
it's Caleb Williams in that offense can be kind of a wild card. So you do not want to give a team like that with those weapons any extra opportunities. So holding on to the ball, absolutely paramount.
Luckily, in this game, we're not playing against any like super stud defensive interior guys or anything like that. So as far as like the pass rush coming in on Sam Darnold, he should have some time, I think, in this game. Like, yeah, I do think the Bears have a really good secondary, but I don't think we're going to be super worried about the pressure coming on Sam Darnold a lot. Especially, I mean, there's been a big significant between the games that there's like a star defensive tackle compared to the games that there hasn't been. So, but keeping on rolling here, we've got run up the gut. So obviously, any good team will establish the run to kind of open everything up. I do think this game's really important. I've been talking about the secondary, but the big one here is the Chicago Bears, ranked 23rd in rush defense, allowing 130.3 yards per game. And they also have the 7th worst efficiency against the run, giving up 5 adjusted yards per carry. So they're pretty much, I mean, they give up the 7th most yards per carry. And a lot of that is in the middle of their defense, where a lot of their best run defenders are actually their safeties and their cornerbacks, and their defensive interior and their defensive line in general. They're kind of just mediocre there. So I do think this is a game where I know it didn't really work for us last week when we're playing up against Jeffrey Simmons and Tavondre Sweat, but I do think this is a game that we want to bring back those just run plays right up the gut. Don't get too cute. You don't need to run around. You don't need to do any sweeps. You don't need to do anything like that. Just go right up the gut, get some chunk yards. And I mean, if you could average 5 yards a carry doing that, then obviously, things are going to be working pretty well for us on that front. But we also want to see, we talked about Sam Darnold bounce back. We need to see the Aaron Jones, Cam Akers bounce back this week.
Right. And when it comes down to that, I don't think Aaron Jones is 100% healthy. I mean, he says he is, and he's full participation in practice and everything. I think the ribs are still bothering him. I would like to see a little bit more of an even split between him and Cam Akers, because Akers, in the limited time he's been able to play, he has shown some explosiveness. But yeah, I mean, T-Bass, I do see your comments here, where it does seem like an odd time to switch, to want to, I mean, obviously you always got to establish running the rock, but Ingram was a better or a better run blocker than Reisner was. I mean,
which is a fair
I do think that's a contributing factor. I mean, last week you probably don't want them to run the ball up the gut as much. Probably try to get some runs to the outside, because last week you're going up against the big body Tavondre Sweat as well as Jeffrey Simmons, who's an all-around monster. This week, as the stats show, it's going to be a little bit easier to run the football, but when was the last time we've seen a draw play? Yeah, it has been a while for sure. I mean, and that's the thing with Kevin O'Connell. Like, you appreciate the fact that he's trying to stick to the runs, but the things that bother me is it's either up the gut or some sort of like long developing toss play behind the line of scrimmage. I do wish he would work in, like T-Bass is saying, I do think he would work. I do wish Kevin O'Connell would work in a little bit different type of runs to try to fool him a little bit. I feel like the Vikings have done that since I've been watching them. No matter who the offensive coordinator is, it's always been a lot of just running straight up the middle. And it's just, obviously it's not our strength. The run game has been pretty putrid the last couple of weeks, especially last week. I mean, averaging 2.6 yards per carry. It's been rough. Again, I do think part of that is Jones isn't 100% healthy. Plus the interior of that offensive line against some of these fronts have gotten bullied a little bit, but again, 100% respect the fact that O'Connell's trying to stick to the run game, because you absolutely have to. That was one of the big worries coming into the season, is that last year we didn't try to run the ball nearly enough. Now we're trying, and it's just not working. So whatever O'Connell has to do offensively, scheme-wise, blocking setups, bringing some extra tight ends in to figure that out, it's got to happen. But you got to switch some things up with the run game, because you're not going to be able to make a deep run if you can't be consistent in the run and the pass game. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I mean, but yeah, we got to get this, because this run, that's the thing with Aaron Jones. Like, early on in the season, when he was 100% healthy, things were going great. Like, the run game was producing every game, and it was only making things easier on this offensive line and Sam Darnold. Where now, when the struggles have started to come, and a big thing is, I mean, Aaron Jones has never had a snap share like this his entire career. Normally, he's been 1A to a 1B type running back where he's gotten some rest. Where this year, we are relying on him far too much, and in order for us to, keep this run game going all year long, you're gonna have to take some snaps off this guy. I mean, obviously, you're not asking him to bench him or take all of his snaps away completely, but you got to do something to make this run game more effective. And a big part of that does come with letting Jones get some rest, heal up, get 100% by the time the stretch run and into the playoffs comes. But yeah, running the ball, absolutely have to try to get back to. I mean, you got to keep doing it, but you got to change things up to make it more effective. Because as of right now, it's not effective enough. You're still keeping defenses on your toes because they know you're going to keep trying to run the football. But until it starts working, they're going to be able to hone in on it and stop you from doing it. And it's only going to make the pass game that much worse. But we'll see. I trust Kevin O'Connell to get it fixed. And I mean, that is a big thing, though. You can't just go away from it. You got to stick to it.
Yeah. And just to answer a couple of these questions, Ty Chandler dead or something? He just hasn't been it. It's like he's like the Jalen Naylor. We're excited about Jalen Naylor and Ty Chandler this year, and they're both kind of sitting in the same boat as not being who.
The problem is he can't pass block. So when he's in there, it's not a pass play.
Yeah,
like that.
True.
That's the problem.
On top of that, I do want to say something about the Reisner thing, because that's the thing. Like, Reisner isn't a great run blocker at all, but Ingram is not either. He just is better at run blocking than he is at pass blocking, and that doesn't really say a lot. So I'm like, I don't think the difference between Ingram and Reisner is that significantly different in the run game. I just don't think Ingram is really that good in the pass block game, and I think he's just an average run block. I mean,
I'd rather have an average one than a below average one, though, when it comes to trying to run.
Probably in just run blocking, but this is a pass first team. I mean, obviously, we'd probably be better having Ingram in there instead for the run blocking, but I personally don't think it's that significant where it's like, okay, we could run with Ingram and now we just can't because Reisner's in there. It's not. I don't think it's like that at all, in my opinion, anyways. Hey, Mark in the building, my guy. Let's go. Keeping it going here, though. I was talking about their secondary because I do think it's going to be a rough game or not a rough game, but a challenging game for our wide receivers, for potentially Sam Darnold. I know I said I think he'll have some time here, but one guy that I do think might have a shot and a guy that we should use in the offense this year or this week a lot more than we have is the boy TJ Hawkinson. Just to throw some stats out there, the Bears have allowed just 207 adjusted passing yards per game, the 7th best in the NFL. They've allowed only 0.7 passing touchdowns per game, which is the lowest in the NFL. And then their safeties rank out as the 3rd best in coverage against pass catchers, wide receivers specifically, and they've limited wide receivers to 124 adjusted receiving yards per game, the 4th fewest in the NFL. So they have not allowed wide receivers to do a ton. And this is obviously, we're not just some normal wide receivers. We got Justin Jefferson, we got Jordan Addison, Jalen Naylor when he decides to catch the ball, whatever. But the reason why TJ Hawkinson is important here is the tight ends have been the weak spot of their defense. They've allowed the 7th most yards per target to tight ends, and they've also allowed the 5th most yards after catch to tight ends. And I do think this is a game where you want to establish the run. You want to specifically up the gut. You want to just get chunk yards, and then you kind of want to open stuff up with these passes in the middle of the field that we've seen with TJ Hawkinson before. And even, I know we hate the word tight end screen, but I wouldn't even mind seeing maybe a chance. I don't even know if we've seen a tight end screen to TJ Hawkinson yet, but just short plays, like get him rolling, use TJ Hawkinson, run up the gut on offense, and then hopefully all of that can kind of open up everything else for the rest of this offense, including Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
For sure. And like I said earlier, it'll be interesting to see, because I know Kevin O'Connell, when they activated him from IR and started putting him in the games against the Colts, he did kind of say that O'Connell said like there's going to be no snap count. He's full go. And he's going to be ready to take his full amount of snaps. But we haven't actually seen that happen. And I do think that a big part of that was the effectiveness of Josh Oliver. So knowing that Josh Oliver could come in and play in a passing role, which is what we were told last season, didn't really see it a ton. Now we're seeing it this year that they actually believe he can be a true pass catcher. But I do think a lot of the reason why we were why we've kind of been easing him in is because we've had some other effective tight ends. But now there's no Josh Oliver. So it'll be interesting to see if they keep, because O'Connell's been incrementally increasing Hawkinson's snap count. But now with no Oliver, Johnny Munt, I know Kevin O'Connell said Johnny Munt was the best number 3 tight end in the league. He's never been super explosive, but last year we did see
Right.
some good plays from him. This year we haven't seen as many. We've actually seen more bad plays than good plays, I would say, from Johnny Munt. And Nick Muse, who knows if they'll be able to find a way to get him on the roster and activate him for this game, because they've kept him around, so obviously they do like him. But it'll be interesting to see if they're going to be pretty much full go with TJ Hawkinson this week. And I mean, without Josh Oliver, I do think he's going to be playing more snaps. I mean, again, I do think that Johnny Munt's still going to get his snap share. I think they're going to.
I think I'd rather see Nick Muse in there over Munt at this point.
Well, I would too, but we'll have to see if they can find a way to squeeze him onto the roster. Or
obviously Munt would probably get first say, but as far as like if you need to get, as far as like filling in that Oliver role in the pass game specifically, like you'd rather. I mean, we haven't got a real shot to see Muse in a regular season games, but during the preseason games, he's always like the star of the offense.
Like we know what Johnny Munt is, right? But there's still that question of what can Nick Muse be in the NFL? And again, they've kept him around even through all the injuries, so they must believe that there can be something there. But I do think yes, they need to implement TJ Hawkinson. They need to get him the ball. But again, I'm really curious to see when Monday rolls around, what Hawkinson's snap share is going to look like. If it's going to be incrementally going up, or if they're just going to go full go with him because they're going to need to with the lack of Josh Oliver this weekend.
Yeah, that is funny. I did see what Joey's just saying here. I thought Norris was my guy. All of you guys are my guys, bro.
We don't play favorites here on the GG Sports Podcast. We can't do it.
No,
there's too many.
There's some favorites. We just don't talk about it, you know. So it could be.
Say there's
and spoiler alert, it's all of you. Every single one. Speaking of that,
never mind.
Especially, no, I probably shouldn't say it. Giving away the JJ McCarthy rookie card. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, subscribe if you have not already. Keeping on rolling, you better play favorites. You better play favorites, man. I thought I was part of the cool kids club. Oh, Young Smokey, you're in there. So you're in there, brother. You're in there somewhere for sure. I better towards the top, my guy, dude. If you go to Skol Fest, if you're going to Skol Fest, I mean, you know, that's where relationships are built. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm their fan, but we don't have to.
Yeah, that's how we started talking, man. That's how we got into the club.
I know, exactly. Mark Phil's literally here because we met him at Skol Fest. But no, everybody in here. We love everybody, and we appreciate everybody just being in here to watch us talk about Vikings football. Still, it's crazy to me sometimes that's a thing.
You get to listen to a couple average looking dudes sit here and ramble on about football.
Speak for yourself, dude. Damn. I'm just kidding. Let's keep on rolling though. So going to the next one on the other side of the ball is an obvious one that has not lived up to the hype, but our secondary versus their wide receiver trio. Obviously, I think it has a lot to do with the lack of time Caleb's getting, and then plus the pressure and taking sacks that this wide receiver trio is going strong here, or hasn't been going strong, though, of course, you know, if Caleb Williams, I was thinking 3. Hey, that's crazy.
That's average. That's average to me.
Yeah, that's average. Hey, thank you, man. That was the first 3 I've ever gotten. But obviously we know with these guys, if you give Caleb too much time, he's capable of getting it to these wide receivers, and we know what they do have the skill that you want in Ndunze, in Keenan Allen, and of course DJ Moore, like you see on here. And on top of that, you know, we have been just kind of mediocre in the passing game. The Vikings, we used it a lot earlier on in the season, that there's been a lot of garbage times, and I still do think that does become a part of the thing. But the fact that we're still sitting at the 28th in the NFL in passing yards, and we played against like 3 mediocre as hell quarterbacks in a row, and that's still happening, and specifically, you know, these big plays that we allowed last game, including that almost 100-yard touchdown, we do have to worry about their secondary. I'm not worried about I do really feel like this is going to be a game where our defense is going to do really well in this, but we can't sleep on this team at all. I mean, they have all the talent that you'd want.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they have DJ Moore, who is a very, very good receiver in his own right. You have Keenan Allen, who is the ultimate, in his prime, and he's still got some game left in him, obviously. He's the ultimate slant pass and yak type receiver. And then you got Rome Odunze, who is the number 9 overall pick for a reason, at third wide receiver off the board. All this stuff for a reason, because the dude is immensely talented. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to Caleb Williams and how he plays. And like the big thing is, the main reason that some of these offenses have been able to light up our secondary is when they get to the quick passing game to beat the blitz.
Ready? Someone's ready for a duck race.
Yeah. Quick passing game to beat the blitz, or when we can't get home with the pass rush and we don't have, Gilly ain't the Gilly of old, right? Still a good corner, but he's not all pro Gilly. Shaq Griffin has always been a solid corner. Then you got Byron Murphy, who's been very up and down this season. You can't expect these guys to cover receivers for as long as they have to when the pass rush can't get home. So that's a big reason why we're getting these chunk plays on us, is just the way that we have to play defense, because we don't have corners fast enough to play man for as long as you have to. So I do think a big part of this game is going to be getting into topic number 1, and key to victory number 1, of course, is get after the young rookie quarterback. We've seen the type of things that Caleb Williams can do when you give him time and when you let him get outside the pocket. So a big thing, I think, number 1, as it comes to getting to Caleb Williams, is set the edge. Do not let him escape that pocket. He also had 70 rushing yards last week. You can't let him get outside the pocket and make things happen with his legs. So I do think a big part of this game, set the edge, keep him in the pocket. You're probably going to have to spy him. And I think we have a perfect setup for that, because Ivan Pace does his best work at the line of scrimmage. So have Ivan Pace be your spy on Caleb Williams. And we've seen that Pace is not very good in coverage, but Blake Cashman is. So I think we kind of have a perfect setup for this, right? And then even when it comes to the interior, yes, Harrison Phillips is having a solid year. Even Bullard and Jerry Tillery are both playing pretty well too. But last week, one of the sacks from Pat Jones came from him playing on the inside. So with the way that Flores likes to do things with this defense, is you're going to see a lot of different people playing a lot of different positions. So I think, and as we mentioned earlier, this is going to be, and I think Sarah said it, this is going to be Caleb Williams' welcome to the NFL / welcome to the NFC North moment, to where he's seen a lot of things, played a lot of football. He's seen a lot of different defenses, but he's never seen a Brian Flores defense. And Flores can confuse even some veteran quarterbacks. Imagine what he's going to be able to do to a young quarterback like Caleb Williams. And yeah, it's so the definite key to this game, keep him in the pocket, make him beat you from the pocket, but get after him, sack him, frustrate. Because we've seen what happens. We've seen him throughout his college career. When he gets frustrated, his game just completely shuts off. So whatever Flores has been doing, just keep it going. Because, you have a terrible offensive line and a young quarterback. It's a recipe for success for this defense.
Hey, Nick Riley. Right, Nick. What's up, dude? Exactly. And then, yeah, talking about setting the edge. Like there was a stat I saw today on Twitter, and I forgot exactly what it was, but it was pretty much just saying how good we've been at setting the edge this year, not letting quarterbacks come out. I forgot who posted it or whatever. So otherwise, I try to look for it. That's why we need to get a producer in here so they can go and do those things for us. Right. Someday, dreams. But so that's why.
By the way, hit us up. Yeah. Hit us up.
Hey, someone who's producer.
Someone's got some computer skills.
Yep.
Willing to listen to us tell you what to do for an hour and a half. It might be a job for you. We don't pay, but still might be fun for you. Kidding.
Hey, maybe someday we'll pay, but not at first. No, probably not. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, but yeah, setting the edge, obviously that's something that we do really good. That's why I said I think a Flores would be like Achilles heel to a guy like Caleb Williams, who's already been sacked more than any quarterback in the NFL with 41 this season. So obviously, this has been the recipe all year against that team, is just and this has been the recipe against the Bears for years, not just this year, not just against Caleb Williams, but against Justin Fields in years past, because that offensive line is just putting the pressure on the Bears. That's how you beat them on their quarterback. And when you got a guy like Caleb Williams, who just is going to tend to hold the ball too long, you're going to get to him. And that's exactly what I do think we got to do here. So we're third containment of scram. That's what it is. That's what it is. Thank you, Sarah. Yep, that's what it was.
Yeah, so this literally is the perfect. This is not the perfect defense for Caleb Williams to go against, but the perfect quarterback for Brian Flores' defense to go against. So Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm
Tell me about
excited.
the Tampa Bay
I
line.
think
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be one of those games where I think you are gonna see a lot of frustration, and we've already seen frustration at times, and we've seen DJ Moore walk off the field mid play, and we've seen
Smokey.
DJ Moore with frustration. So it's gonna be a good one for our defense. Damn, with another
My
49-99 from our boy Smoke.
You're crazy. This upcoming game is a good opportunity for us to show Caleb why he needs to cringe anytime he looks at the schedule for his entire career. This is a golden opportunity for the Vikings to set the tone against Caleb for
Yeah,
his career. Yeah, 100%. I do think like, and we're gonna get into spoiler some Brian Flores stuff in a second here, but that's another thing too. Is like once you lose Brian Flores, you do feel like there's gonna be a little bit of um like a lot of like you can it's going to be a refresh for a lot of the divisional
yeah,
offenses being like, okay, now they don't have Brian Flores, so hopefully they're not the same type of defense. But like Casey has mentioned many times, is hopefully there's just at least some prodigy, someone under a Flores's wings that can come up and kind of just run the defense a lot like him. I don't know how easy it
right.
is for that to
No, I
happen,
mean, yeah,
but that'd be great. Hey, Smokey, thank you,
obviously it's
man.
much easier.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, Mav in the building.
Hey, what's going on, Matt?
I'm
But
on the
yeah, I
fishing
mean,
for
it's
this
and again,
cheap
I do think I do really hope
Let's go.
that they do have somebody that they're is it that Flores is teaching, knowing that he'll eventually get back to being a head coach. But yeah, no, I agree. It's no matter what you can learn a lot from somebody, but you can't be somebody. And Flores, as we've seen, just every stop he's been at, his defenses have been amazing. So it would be tough shoes to fill him to get there, but hopefully we don't need to worry about that for another couple seasons.
Yeah, 100%. Anyways, Skol
Skol Gauntlet
Gauntlet.
brought to you by insert potential sponsor here. So if anybody knows anybody,
Yeah. If anybody knows anybody, we need a producer and we need a sponsor. Actually, if we can get a sponsor, then we can get a producer.
yes,
That's it.
exactly.
So future sponsor, Skol Gauntlet, future sponsor, all that good stuff. Let's get it. You ready? So we got JJ. Anyone that hasn't seen this, we each get 30 seconds on each one of these topics. Starting with JJ versus Justin Jefferson versus Jamar Chase, Brian Flores, specifically the whole head coach situation. Do we feel like he's going to be here next year? Brian Murphy, long-term extension. Do we feel like he deserves one after what he's done this season? Biggest concern of this week, X Factor going into this week for us, and our bold predictions. Casey, let me know when you are ready to rock here.
All right, let's roll. So the first one with JJ and Chase,
Well, hold on.
Oh
There
no,
you go.
I was gonna preface it before we actually.
Oh,
start.
okay. Preference it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
basically,
Okay.
there was that tweet earlier this week, basically saying that NFL execs believe that opposing teams are more afraid of Jamar Chase because of his big playability than they are of Justin Jefferson. Do we believe that? Yes or no? You'll find out once Jamie hits that once Jamie hits that clock.
Right now.
So should teams be more afraid of Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson? Look, I love Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, when they were on the same team with Joe Burrow at LSU, amazing stuff. Jamar Chase is a very, very good receiver. But Kevin O'Connell said it himself earlier this week. People need to realize that no one is defending other receivers the way that people defend Justin Jefferson. I mean, he's bracketed, triple covered all the time, and he's still, sure, he doesn't have the big 200-yard games, but he still makes this offense go. He's still productive. Justin Jefferson's the best receiver in the league. Sorry, I went over my time.
No, he's good. You're good. No, Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the league. And it's not even just that, maybe he is a bigger bodied guy. Like maybe in the red zone, he's like the guy that you can just toss up to, even though Justin Jefferson can definitely do that, but he's going to be that bigger body. Maybe you give him the win in that specific area, but you're talking about Joe Burrow, and that's significant compared to the quarterbacks that Justin Jefferson has played with, as far as definitely giving your players a chance, and even deep that we see with Jamar Chase. And I just think overall, skill-wise, yes, you do see the big plays from Jamar Chase, but skill-wise, Justin Jefferson can literally do everything.
Sure.
And he doesn't need to have those kind of things. It's I don't know. Justin Jefferson, we went over on that one big time.
We did, but it was an interesting topic when I saw the tweet. Because again, I get what they're getting at, right? Because Jamar Chase, he's had multiple games with over 100 some yards and multiple touchdowns. He's a very good receiver. But again, the thing that does stick out to me is just how people have to game plan and change their defenses around Justin Jefferson. And yeah, no, Justin Jefferson's perfectly fine. The people that, I mean, whatever, because Jefferson's showing us too, he can have big plays as well. He can have those type of play. We saw a 97-yard touchdown this year. We've seen last year in week 2 against or week 3 was it, against the Chargers, he had a pass over the middle that he ran in for a touchdown. Like, Justin Jefferson can do all these things. Just with the way that people are playing defense against us, though, it doesn't always come to fruition. But eventually, once Addison gets into his groove again and all that type of stuff happens, once we have JJ McCarthy back at quarterback, it's going to be just fine. Justin Jefferson's the best receiver in football. No question about it. We can move on from this topic. Jamar Chase, very, 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 very good receiver.
He is
very good receiver. But
yeah, not as good. Not as good, but he's good. Keeping on going here. Brian Flores, what is your thoughts on him? 3, 2, 1.
Brian Flores, I mean, again, does he deserve to be head coach? Absolutely. The whole thing with Tua, I think the whole thing with Tua was a huge learn. No matter who's right, who's wrong in that scenario, I think it was a huge learning experience. That if you're going to be a head coach, if you're going to be head coach of a team, you're probably going to have a new quarterback coming in, because it kind of seems to work that way. I think he learned a lot. That if you're going to be a defensive-minded head coach, you do need to be able to talk with your quarterback. So, does he deserve to be head coach in the league? Absolutely. We'll see how the lawsuit thing affects it, but he definitely deserves it at some point.
Yeah, like, I do agree. Obviously, if that lawsuit wasn't going on, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like the number 1 candidate for being the head coach next year. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does get a couple interviews. But based on what everybody says about the lawsuit, it does seem very unlikely that that is going to be the case. Though it was kind of disappointing, even though I shouldn't be surprised, but it was a little disappointing to know that he wants a head coaching job. Because I'm like, which obviously, of course he does, but you don't man, you do get a little bit of nervous. Like, it's just like, it would stink to lose Brian Flores right before like this window with JJ McCarthy and stuff, you know?
But I mean, the big thing
if our defense goes to shit, it's always going to be like, what if Brian Flores stuck around?
But I do think the big thing for him, though, because he does, I mean, the thing that...
Gary, my guy in the building, let's go. Another one of my guys.
Geez, Smokey, with another $9.99.
Smokey, my dude, bro. I think Flores deserves a shot, but I still hope he's being blackballed. It's hard. It's like, I want him to get a job, but I don't.
Who was it who mentioned potential move to college? Who was that on Tuesday that someone had mentioned that in the comments? Was it? I don't remember who it was, but someone, T-Bass maybe, said Miami was looking at him potentially.
Or something like that. I'm hoping he isn't willing to go down to that. Right. Then he could definitely do that.
But I do think that a big thing is that he said it himself. Like, I'd love to be a head coach, but I love it here in Minnesota. My family loves it here in Minnesota. And they said that they might, and who knows, they might have some other ideas for me. So he does have the fact that everything is well here in Minnesota and he loves it. So like Sarah said, I do think.
Yeah, he does. Like, I mean, if he gets offered by the Jets, that's
the Jets come in and offer him a contract. No, like he needs.
No,
but that's the big thing. We'll keep.
That's where coaches go to die.
Because it's going to be huge for our defense to have him around, like you said, through the Super Bowl window being open. So at least for him, he has the fallback to where if a job isn't good enough or he doesn't view it as a great opportunity for himself, he just gets to stay here and continue being probably one of the top paid defensive coordinators in football. So for him, it's a win-win. It's you either go get a head coaching job with the opportunity you want, or you stay here at a place that you love, your family loves, and the fans love you.
And the fan base love you.
For him, absolute
obviously.
win-win for Brian Flores. No matter what he does, he's going to end up being
the blackout Bundy, my guy with the 5 linebackers coach Mike Patin and defensive coach
I'd rather
Jones is up.
I'd rather see Durante Jones or the linebacker. I'd rather see Durante Jones. Yeah. Mike Pettin's had his shot before. Like, I like Mike Pettin as kind of in an advisory role.
You want someone that we know that
someone
that
up and
learned from Flores.
Yeah,
like not like because like if you've already been defensive coordinator, you probably have like your idea of what you like as a scheme. Maybe you take some stuff from Brian Flores.
I like that. Because basically you go there, your offense is set. You have your quarterback. You don't need to develop him. You bring in an offensive coordinator that can coach him, and you come in and coach a defense and be a head coach. That's a good spot. And honestly, that job is going to grow. Zach Taylor is incredibly overrated.
He isn't going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. There's no good spots for him other than in Minnesota. We ain't letting him leave. That's just what's going to happen now.
Spot, though. That's an absolute great spot. If he leaves, though, Rob Saleh, give me Rob Saleh. Do it. I would take Rob Saleh as defensive coordinator. But we don't need to worry about that because Brian Flores is still here.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. Would be beast. Yeah, he would. That would be beast.
Anyway, we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah, anyways, we're way past our 30 seconds. we can go quicker on this one now. Byron Murphy, long-term extension, 3, 2, 1.
I'm not ready to give him that yet. I mean, do we need cornerbacks in the future? Absolutely. Is he a guy, I think, because he has been pretty up and down. Yeah, he had the streak of interceptions. He's shown good things. He's also shown a lot of bad things. Would I be upset if we brought him back on a team-friendly deal? No. But I don't want you to be paying him anywhere near top-tier cornerback money because, honestly, he just doesn't deserve it. But, again, would I like to bring him back as a younger – because he is young. He's still – I think he's still in his early or, like, mid-20s. Would I like to have him back as a younger veteran presence? Sure, but not for big money.
For me, I'm going to go with just a straight-up no. I mean, yes, he had those 3 games where he has interceptions. How many he has 4 on the year?
Yeah.
Takeaways, which don't get me wrong, like if you can create turnovers, that's big. Though, let's be honest, like 3 of those takeaways were gimmies, and there's a couple of them that he almost dropped. And there was at least one takeaway that he did drop. And I if you can do takeaways, I'm happy for it. But in coverage, and going over the 30 seconds, but he has not been good in coverage. I don't care what anybody says. He's not been good in coverage all year long. I don't think. People keep saying like, yeah, if you put him next to a cornerback 1, I do not think he's a CB2 right now. He's not one on this defense this second, not in my opinion. He hasn't showed that to me. He didn't show it to me last year. I don't know. So I'm going to say no. I don't think you give him a long-term extension for sure. And honestly, maybe you give him an extension just because you literally have nobody else. That's how I feel. I haven't been that impressed by him this year.
I wouldn't be mad if you give him like a 3-year deal with guarantees in the first 2, and the third one is basically just a throwaway year. Because I do think going into next season, I do think you need some veteran presence there because we're just not going to have it. So I would not hate to bring him back, a familiar face in a defense, and he's going to be familiar with Flores if he's still here. And I don't know. I wouldn't.
There's so many times where you just when there's a big play, you see him there. You just see him there.
Unless of course you figure you can go in free agency or the draft and get a day 1 starter for next year. Like
right.
if you have a plan, yeah. you can pick up a high price free agent and then a lower price free agent that's going to give you the same amount of what you get out of Byron Murphy for equal or less price. Then I'm all in. But I do think that if you're going to go into next year, try to get one massive corner signing or draft pick, I do think it's not going to hurt because Murphy, I don't think he's going to cost you that much. So I think you can have a relatively cheap, solid veteran option to at least have here in the case that you're not able to find anybody.
Which I could see them doing that, but long term.
Long term isn't like a 4 or 5 year deal. Like I think like 3 or 4, 3-ish, 2 to 3,
3-ish to 4. Yeah, that's too much for me. I haven't seen. He hasn't proven that.
I'm talking like a 3-year deal with only 2 years worth of guarantees.
If it's cheap,
30
yeah. There's a scenario in there where you bring him back and you just have another body in there, but he's not expected to be your cornerback. When I get all of that, but I don't like. It wouldn't be optimal. Would be more optimal if we went and got a guy in free agency, picked someone in the draft, or a couple guys in free agency. I don't feel confident of him being a CB1, CB3 maybe, but he's a cornerback 3. I guess
nickel corner, like North says here, like that wouldn't be a bad spot for him.
I mean, something. But anyways, let's keep on going here. Attacking Byron Murphy Jr. I mean, just watch him this week, and I'm telling you, anytime there's a big throw, you're going to see him there literally every time. Even though he might have an interception in this game, which of course is a huge deal, and he's had come up clutch sometimes, which does matter. But generally in coverage, he's been pretty mediocre in my opinion. Keeping it going, back to the Vikings versus the Bears. Biggest concern, 3, 2, 1.
I mean, this is kind of a tough one because there's a couple things for me. The first one is Soldier Field. Yes, I saw Bob Swede mention it earlier. I do believe we have won the recent visits there, but again, it always just feels like those games are just grinders to get through. So I kind of got twofold thing here. I'll just go with the one I was thinking. Like again, I think this is a perfect matchup for our defense with Caleb Williams. My biggest concern is literally just keeping Caleb Williams in the pocket because we've seen it when the kid, he can run and he can do things on the run. So keep him in the pocket. I think we're going to be just fine. But that is my biggest concern for this one.
My biggest concern is their secondary. I mean, that's pretty much been like their best thing of their team all season long. Their safeties are good, their cornerbacks are good, and especially against wide receivers and just being able to score touchdowns as well. We already talked about point 0.7. They've allowed point 0.7 touchdowns per game, the lowest in the NFL, and we've been struggling to get touchdowns other than having that bounce back last week. And scoring on offense is probably my biggest concern in this game. Keeping it rolling with X Factor. 3, 2, 1. Boom.
My X factor is gonna be Aaron Jones, and I mean just the running game in general. Like I said, I would like to see us get a little bit more Cam Akers in there, maybe even some Ty Chandler. But yeah, I mean, as you said, that secondary is legit. I think, and they're not great against the run. So I think you got to get Jones going in this game. You got it. Like this needs to be the game where you get some more confidence in your run game. Keep going with it. Establish the run. I'm looking for Aaron Jones to have a big one, and it's only going to make things easier for the offense and Sam Darnold if we can do that.
Yeah. I'm going to go with, I mean, the pass rush in general, but I'm going to go with should be defensive player of the year, Andrew Van Ginkel. I think this is a good matchup for him. Obviously, coming from a game with 2 sacks last week, has 8 on the season, 2 interceptions for touchdowns. And the big thing for him is has all the athleticism to set the edge. And we've talked about setting the edge against Caleb Williams and how important that's going to be in this game. And I do think he's the guy you're calling on probably mostly, and has 13 tackles for loss on top of that. So keeping on going with bold predictions. 3, 2, 1.
Bold predictions. My bold prediction, I know we talked about it. The secondary is legit. It's going to be tough. It always is. You're at Soldier Field. My bold prediction is Sam Darnold doesn't turn the ball over one time and throws 3 touchdowns. I think, I saw enough from Darnold last week to know that he's not reverting back into the old Sam Darnold. Like he still has the Sam Darnold we saw in the first 4.5 weeks. The dude is still in there, and I think he's gonna play well this game and lead the Vikings to a 24-17 victory.
24-17. Okay. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the pass rush. I'm gonna say we last week we had 5 sacks. I think we duplicate that again. I think we get another 5 sacks. I'm going with my boy Andrew Van Ginkel again. He's going to get at least 1 sack in this game, hopefully 2, and keep building on his defensive player of the year, because that's all I can talk about right now. But score predictions in general, I'm going to go with, I am concerned about their scoring defense, and I'm going to go 17-10 Vikings.
Yeah. You know, with all the hype that we gave our defense against their offense, I feel like giving them 17 feels like a little bit much, but we're just going to roll with it. I don't know. I just feel like, again, these Soldier Field games always scare me. Yeah. So I'll be, it's going to be a fun one. I think it's going to be a really fun game because I'm excited. I'm actually excited to see, how Caleb Williams plays against his defense. I mean, you and I were both huge Caleb Williams fans during the draft process. I mean, we both had him as our number 1 quarterback in the class. So I'm excited to see how he's going to look against probably one of the best defenses. He's one of the best defensive minds that he's going to see. I'm curious to see how he's going to play. But again, I guess you could look at the offenses on both sides. Like I'm excited to see how Darnold's going to play coming off of what I think against the Titans was his best game as a Viking. I'm excited to see him try to build on that against another really well coached and solid defense.
Yeah. I did want to answer this. So can you guys do an episode where you break down the list of free agents for next year? Pick which one you guys would like. Get for my beloved Vikes. I would say we probably won't do that right now, but we'll definitely be doing that as soon as the season ends, probably. I mean, maybe we'll talk. I mean, that's something that we can definitely talk about once the season gets towards the end, but we'll probably have like a specific episode around that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Murphy is not a man lockdown corner. Not a man.
No, definitely not.
So next year, Blackman, maybe Murphy and Nudie. I know. I wish we would have saw some. That's one thing is I wish we would see a little bit of Nudie, to some extent. Of course, everybody, other show, JJ McCarthy rookie card. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. But no, I wish we saw something from him. I mean, especially lately, like our corners. I mean, they've been pretty good, but our pass rush has been coming around lately. I'm just surprised we haven't seen any of him at all. It's kind of just been those 3. Like usually you'd see like a fourth cornerback come in and get a little bit of time, but it's just
but I
been
mean,
those three, and that's
I
it.
guess with him being a UDFA though, I mean, it's just he's definitely probably more of a
Hey, no,
developmental guy for them. But I mean, and that's I don't know. My big hope
Vikings
is that
11, Bears 8.
my big
Okay.
hope is that they go to the draft for defensive interior and find a way to sign a premium cornerback in free agency. I believe I saw someone mention DJ Reed. I'm not sure if he is a free agent.
Smart.
If DJ Reed is a free agent and the Jets don't bring him back, throw all the money at him. Like, I want to come away from this. I want to come out of free agency with a number 1 corner and a number 3 receiver. Like that's what I want out of free agency.
Number 1 corner. And that's us using our first round pick for defensive interior, which there isn't a lot. And if we can get a guard in there too somewhere, one that we can feel confident in, even if it's just one guard, and we have to use Bradbury again, just get us a guard at least. And then defensive interior. I don't know who's at the back end. I knew there's a couple guys, especially the kid from Michigan, in the front end of the draft. But if we can get a defensive interior, I think that's the direction you want to go in free agency, because there is cornerbacks this year in free agency, and there definitely is some wide receivers in this draft. So
then let's bring him here, Nick. Let's get some let's get DJ.
Go
Reed.
for it. There's not even a question, because we've talked about all the time how bad we need a defensive interior. Right now, I'd still to this day, from in a pass rush standpoint at least, I do think it's the biggest hole on this team. We're not getting. I think if in a Brian Flores defense, if we had anybody creating pressure in that middle of the defense, like, good luck. We would be the best defense for sure, especially pass rushing defense. I still do think we need that. But as soon as this offseason starts and we don't have Gilmore, we don't have Shaq Griffin, and we don't have Byron Murphy Jr., we immediately are desperately looking for a cornerback. And I'd be very surprised if we don't get the best one that is available in free agency, or definitely up there, especially with all the money that we have, and not keep trying. That's one thing about cornerbacks too, is like we keep failing at grabbing them in drafts. Like Xavier Rhodes is the only one that like really worked out for us.
And he kind of only worked out for like 2 years.
Yeah. Otherwise, like I mean, we can. Yeah, it's not been good. So it's like it scares me to pick one in the draft, unless we're like even high up is scary sometimes. But
this one is really interesting to think about.
That's the tough part, because I also want a future running back. And if we get there's like a guy like Derek, like you can see the impact. Even Aaron Jones hasn't been there recently, but the impact Derek, like the disrespect is huge in the running back game. But the impact that you see in Saquon, the impact you see with Derrick Henry, the impact that you see with all these star running backs is huge. And if we were able to get how do you pronounce his name? Ginty.
I think it's
Genty. If we got a guy like him, that could be massive for this offense. And that would be the tough part. If we're sitting there late in the back end, pick 32, and he's there and there's a defensive interior there, I guess we need defense more. But if we got him, like, I wouldn't be mad. I'd probably be really excited and probably get a jersey right away, because I also love running backs. Like, running back dying thing has kind of been a disappointment to me, mostly because of Adrian Peterson. It
definitely does feel like it's on the bounce back now, because a lot of those running backs did end up getting paid in this last offseason.
JJ, TJ, AJ, and JO. So many J's.
Yeah, that'd be pretty. But I mean, but I also agree with kind of what T-Bass getting at here. Like, this team needs a role type of guard or center, one of the two. So I mean, they're like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. They have a lot of holes to fill. The best thing is they have a lot of money, but everyone knows free agency isn't the way you build a football team. But with the fact that we have such limited draft capital, Kwesi has been an all-star picking up undrafted free agents and free agents. But the next step for him as a general manager is these draft picks need to start hitting. You can't build a team for the future by only bringing in free agents. Like, yes, it helps. It's supposed to be draft to develop your team, free agency to supplement your team. But with the cap space we have, you're going to be able to do a little bit of both, I feel like, because the way that we do things is this team loves to sign those guys coming off of their first contract. So like you like to get these young guys who are still developing, but you can pay them big money and they are going to be an integral part of your team for the next 4 seasons. But yeah, you do need to start hitting on some of these draft picks, especially, with kind of what we're at here.
Yeah.
Mullins is a free agent after this season, so we have
and with Kwesi,
under contract and nobody else going into next year. So it'll be an interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
But
and then with Kwesi,
I'm sure they could get Nick Mullins back for pretty freaking cheap if they want.
Yeah, we'll see what we do there. But with Kwesi, obviously, concerned a little bit about the drafts. I do think his drafts have been getting better, but free agency, absolutely killing it. And I feel confident that we go in there and get some good free agents. And like Mark said earlier, we're gonna get some cornerback, like you said, coming off of his first contract that has shown he just had his best season or whatever, and then he's gonna come out and even have a better season with us, hopefully, because that's what we have seen so far.
I was watching. I think it was.
Dylan Sampson's good.
It was last month. I think they were playing Georgia, and I was watching a little bit. And I think watching him run, and he looked really good. Then he ended up by the end of the game.
I can't wait to go through the running backs this offseason.
180 yards or something like that. So yeah, Dylan Sampson's another guy that I had heard about as well, which I would love. I mean, he's not much of a pass catcher from what I saw in college so far, but I mean, from a pure running perspective, I would love to have a guy like that.
And if anybody hasn't really been in our shows up last offseason, I don't know everybody in here that's new to us. We do a lot of draft stuff. So, I mean, we dive in deep on mostly. I mean, we start with all our positions of need. And then, if we have time to do those other positions that don't really matter, we'll hit on them. But I can't wait for the running backs in this one and the defensive interior and the cornerbacks. But the running backs are going to be a lot of fun. And if he drops another ball, dude, 100%.
I know, and for sure, T-Bass. Again, I love what Kwesi's done in free agency, but you have to start hitting on draft picks. That's exactly how you get depth. And
you have to have some of them because again, we should get a third from Kirk Cousins.
Yes, we're gonna have a first, we
lost in Danielle Hunter.
We have 4 picks going into the next draft.
Yeah, we're gonna have 4 picks, so we definitely get hit on that first pick for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. It's almost time. It's almost mock season. You know what I'm saying?
Big Raylan, what would probably happen is they would do a Russell Wilson type thing where they basically trade him to get him off their books, probably give you some picks, and they'll pay most of his contract. So no, you're not going to be paying him $40 million. They would just trade him. They would pay most of his deal. Literally, the only thing is just so they can draft their next quarterback and not have it be awkward with him being there. So if we did make that move, we'd probably be paying him $2 million, and they'd pay the rest. Which, again, I'm not saying that's a great idea because Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. But if you need somebody, and I wouldn't necessarily hate it, you'd have a backup who has legitimate starting experience in the NFL. But, again, we'll see.
Anyways, let's keep on rolling here. We already got to give our predictions. Mine 17-10.
I went 20.
I don't know. I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried about us scoring. They've just been good in that area. I think it could be a little bit tough there, but hopefully not. Hopefully, I think we have all the talent in the world to destroy this team, even on offense. We just haven't seen everything click yet. But hey, maybe this is going to be the game against this Caleb Williams Rand offense. My prediction is an ass whooping. I like that. I like that. That's a pretty solid one. Yeah, I'll take ass whooping. Let's keep going though. We are going to do Vikings 27-14. Yeah, everybody dropped their score predictions. And we're going to do the old underdog draft.
Gary's got a loss. I think Gary's got a little loss predicted there. He's not telling us.
Oh, Gary. Because Gary said, what was his prediction was against the Lions, right? He predicted us to lose against the Lions. Or the Lions or the Rams. One of those teams. And obviously we know how that happened. We know exactly what happened during that.
Dylan Vikings versus Cardinals. Nice.
Nice,
ask Two Evil. Two Evil's the guy to ask about hotel recommendations down near the stadium. Two Evil's your guy.
Yeah. Two Evil is the guy. He is the one, the only one. All right, let's keep on rolling here. Pop this bad boy off. Bring up. Boom, boom. So me and Casey have been playing. We're doing a competition between us both. Do we have? Oh, there it is. We do the competition every week. My draft versus his. Loser. I mean, it's kind of a bet. Loser has to do something on Monday. We don't have an idea of what we want the loser to do. Other than even though probably when I won the last time. So if anybody has any ideas of any punishments for whoever loses this draft between me and Casey? Let us know.
PG punishments, PG things we can do on YouTube.
Doesn't have to
Otherwise-
be super PG, you know.
Otherwise, there'd be some whatever. But
we'll figure that out. Let's do this though.
yeah, but before we do, if anybody wants to get in on some of this action, you can. Underdog's a great place to do that. Higher or lower, you can do drafts and stuff like this. They got a lot of stuff on there. And if you are going to sign up, make sure to use code GG Sports, and you will get. And if you use code GG Sports, Underdog will match 50% of your deposit up to $1,000. So go ahead, get playing, get winning. Let's go.
Yeah, and then plus, I mean, we're doing this
week, even after I lost last time.
And we're doing these drafts between us. But if anybody in the chat ever wants to come in and match us, if someone comes in here and does a draft against us, if they win, we'll give them something for free. We'll give them a free card or something like that. If anybody ever does that, tries to face us and beats us, we'll give you a free card. So that's definitely an option there. But today, just like last time, my plan is to whoop that Casey ass. Let's do it. Let me click the private chat. Oh, it's going to do that to me. And boom. All right. Me versus Casey. Draft main slate only.
All right.
Do you have the timer on your side? There it is. All right. Starts in a minute. Starting. Casey gets the first pick.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. I like it.
Wait, what the heck? What are you going to do here? First pick pressure. What are you guys thinking? What are we doing here? Loser has to wear a Bears jersey. We should do something where it is.
Jersey. That means one of us we'd have to buy a Bears jersey.
I don't know if we'd get one by that point.
No, I don't think we would either.
That is a good one, though. We should do something like that. We need to figure. That's a good one. That's good. That's good. So I can type that, then deleted it. I know. I wish you had a bear. I'm too good to go against. I mean, we can make Casey chug a beer again, assuming that he probably loses.
What do I do? What are you doing? Tough.
Let me get a little closer here. There we go.
I know what I want to do.
You're up. 30 seconds.
But I think I'm gonna go outside the use here. I am gonna grab me some Devon Achane. I'm doubling down because I haven't.
Dang. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do the smartest play of the week. Some people might think it's a reach. I do not. It's the best wide receiver in the NFL. We got to go with Justin Jefferson with my first pick, 100%. And then we come back and click Christian McCaffrey, who is becoming himself once again.
Nope.
Boom.
Close your eyes, everybody, because I am taking the Detroit Lions.
Dang.
St. Brown. Dude,
do
I double down on Lions? Joe Mixon's been too good to not take Joe Mixon, so we're going Joe Mixon.
He has been really good. For me, you got Nico here. Got Travis Kelce down here. You only need to one tight end. Any of those ones I'm good with. I'm going to go with, know what? I got two in a row, right? I got to go with Gibbs.
Yeah, he's been.
And then I am going to go with Nico Collins, I think.
Either.
Yeah, I'm going to go Nico.
All right. So, quarterback, another wide receiver, tight end.
Damn right.
Ooh, this is.
Might even pick Sam Darnold. Just to be a little cocky, you know?
This is tough, man. This is really, really tough. How long do I got? 13 seconds. I don't know. This is a tough spot to be in, but I think I'm gonna. Oh, I can't take another running back, can I?
Yeah, you can. How many do you have?
It's auto drafting for me. Tyreek Hill.
You got Tyreek Hill.
That's fine.
That's all right.
Sorry, I took too long there. And then I could go tight end, but give me some Brock Bowers action here.
Dang. You know what? I'm gonna go with. We got Neighbors down there. Got some good players. I'm gonna go with Travis Kelce And I'm going to come back around against a Carolina's defense that is trash. And I'm going to go grab Patrick Mahomes down here. I think he has game of the season.
Stacking.
Stacking. Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes stack.
Okay, I like it.
Jamie straight up capping.
Let's see.
What am I capping about, Nick?
I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna trust that he bounces
dub.
back and has another big week. I know Dallas has some guys up front that are a little bit better now. I'm taking. Did it take him? I think I took him.
Who'd you take?
Jaden Daniels. It's not showing I did, but I think I did.
Oh yeah, you probably did. That was a good pick.
Did it just freeze, or is it over, or what's going on?
I don't know. I think it is over. Yeah, it is over. So I got Patrick Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, and Travis Kelce. I knew damn well you weren't taking. Oh, that's what you're capping. Yeah, I wasn't taking. I was just talking about how it's been tough to score against the Chicago
Mine still
defense.
doesn't show that I have Daniels in my roster. Does it show it on your end? If you click on my name.
See here, maybe I'll refresh. Viewful draft. Grant. Okay. They did give you Jaden Daniels. So Jaden Daniels, Devon Achane, Joe Mixon, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Brock Bowers versus Patrick Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, and Travis Kelce. This could be a tough one because you have more players that were at the top of their projections, and I grabbed lower. I kind of overdrafted some, but hey, that's how you win. That's how you got to win. That's how you win fantasy leagues. You can't just go by what they project. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. All right, everybody. We're going to be giving this card away pretty quick here. Almost an hour and a half here. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. Jamie, you fool. Are you talking about the Sam Darnold? I hope you get that jersey, sir. No snake, no worm either. Yeah, I wasn't getting Sam Darnold. That's crazy. I was lying big time. If I win this week, maybe I'll go straight Vikings next week.
Ooh, looks like our boy Johnny is on with Sal tonight over on Vikings First and Skol. Make sure to
he is.
Looks like
that's a good guess. Oh, definitely checking that out. Yeah, get those hashtags. So I guess I'll bring that bad boy up here. Share screen. Let's see here. Obviously, everybody in here, JJ McCarthy rookie card. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments. All that good stuff. We pick 5 names to get you into the duck race. The winner of the duck race wins the JJ McCarthy card. Got to be here to win. And let's just get actually let me get the duck race thing all set up here.
Oh, 25 names. I think that's a record. I feel
that
like
might be. Hey, you guys were awesome tonight, and I appreciate every single one of you. It's a good one today. That just means we are about to whoop that bear ass. And hopefully whoop that bear ass.
I love that.
We're about to whoop that bear ass. Yep, totally planned the whole time. I did not do that on accident at all. All right, let's get these going. With the first. Oh, let me move this over here real quick. It's still up, right? Yeah, there it is. All right, got to be here to make it to the next round. And the first one is boom, Norse. And I already just saw you in here because you said to hit that like button, and I agree. Hit that like button. Let's go. Norse with the first name in here. Oh, yeah, spank that bear ass. There he is. All right, let's keep it going. 3, 2, 1. Boom. We got some names in here today. What we got? And it is boom. Bleeding purple. Are you still in here? JJ, we do it's the duck race. We pick 5 names to make it to the duck race. Bleeding Purple, let us know you're in here. We're gonna keep rolling.
I don't know when the last time I've seen him was. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute, Bleeding Purple. So we're gonna keep going. If you're in here, let us know.
He's here.
He is. Let's go. Let's go. And we got next. Boom. FT Maddie, which I just saw. All right, keeping it rolling. Oh wait, let me get F. There we go. All right. What we got next? 2 more names. 2 more names. Boom. What we got? What we got? Roger. Which Roger? I think we've seen you recently. Roger, you in here? Let us know, Roger. We got at least 1 more. So let's go. Let's go, Roger. Let us know. You're usually in here. I know you're usually in here. And the last one, potentially, is Gary.
Can't have a duck race without Gary.
Can't have a duck race without Gary. No, not 1 second.
Yeah, Roger is here.
Roger is here. We do got the squad here. Let's go. Let's go. Let me swap screens.
Remember, we do this every Monday and Thursday during the regular season. So plenty of opportunities.
Norris, Bleeding Purple, FT, Mad Dog, Gary, Roger. 45 seconds. Set. Oh, unicorn. Gary's got Smokey's unicorn duck. How many should we do? Should we go for 9 for
I think
9 wins?
9 wins. I like it.
9 for 9 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh man, it's kind of lame.
Boring ducks?
Yeah, we can't have boring ducks.
How about 1 more for, I don't know. Oh my God. What the heck's going on here? 1 more.
All right.
Sure. I like it. We'll roll.
Gary's alien duck. We got king duck. We got purple heart duck or pink heart duck.
Vampire
duck. All right. Anyways.
And duck.
Hey, shuffle that up. He can't be unicorn. Yeah, we won't let only Smokey can be unicorn. That's a new rule. Only Smokey can be unicorn duck. All right, let's get this going. 3, 2, 1. Boom. We are off with Gary taking the early lead and FT Mad Dog in second place. Third place. Rogers in second place. You got Norris chilling in the back right there, Bleeding Purple in 4th place here. Let's see what happens. It's 27 seconds. Gary's still in the lead.
Norris, my God. Hurry up.
Everybody's just moving at the same. Everyone's moving at the same pace here. All right, Roger. Oh, Rogers just got shot back. That's usually a good thing.
Norris,
that's usually a good thing. Norris is gonna win. Roger's gonna bounce back off that wall. He is bouncing off that wall. He's taking it. You can tell. You can tell it's all Roger.
Oh yeah.
It's Roger. Boom! Roger with the W. Let's go. Roger, we have your information, right?
We should.
It's been a minute since you won.
Yeah, pretty sure we do.
We got to.
Yeah, Pittsburgh missed the kick already. Yeah, the week after, freaking Boswell had like how many field goals and how many fantasy points, like up in the 20s. But I heard the weather at that Pittsburgh game is just terrible. Like it's below 40, like heavy wind, some rain, and some snow. It just sounds like it's a pretty disgusting mess out that way.
Yeah, Roger, we got. Let's see here. Wait, I think we got your. Here, give me a second here. That's disgusting.
Hell yeah.
Roger, do you want to just message us again? Just don't see your thing right away here. I see one of your messages, but
yeah, definitely just make sure to find a way to hit us up. You have the email. I think we've given.
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop it in here just in case.
Absolutely.
But yeah, just let us know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Anything else? Anything else you got before we hop off here?
Just that we are going to, after this game, I think everybody is already going to say that JJ McCarthy is going to have a better career with Caleb Williams without even throwing a single pass attempt in a regular season game. That's how bad we're about to smash Caleb Williams. He might lose his job this week. I don't know. Maybe 10 sacks at least.
I don't know, but it is going to be an interesting game. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be on Bleacher Report immediately after the game, breaking it down. We'll also be here next Monday. So if you missed Sunday, make sure to join us on Monday, right back here on the GG Sports Podcast. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Go Vikes.